Afternoon, everybody. Christian here. Today I want to share a word or a revelation that came to me today when I was doing my morning Bible study. And it's funny, I've been going through this for months and even longer. And it's just been an irritant as I've gone through this time period in my life, walking out what God called me to do. I've been dealing with, of course, there's the doubts and there's the naysayers and all that stuff going on, right? And I'm pretty adept at dealing with that. You know, I know the Word, I know why I believe what I believe. God has shown me countless ways that I know what I'm talking about. This is the right path for me, right? However, there's still this frustrating continuation of this demonic attack, so to speak. And it seems to have increased, okay? I mean, I've actually been waking up in the middle of the night like there's something wrong or something in the house that is demonic, you know? And so I'll pray about it, you know, and then it seems to go away, and then the next night I'll wake up and it'll be there again, you know? And so I'm kind of dealing with this again and again and again, praying about it, and yet it comes back the next day. And I start to, kind of in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, you know, what's up with this God? I mean, I know God is more powerful than the devil, so it's not like he's like, oh, he got past me, sorry about that. So why is this happening, you know? And then I have this irritating little detail at the corner of my apartment, and it's been there for years. In the corner of my apartment, there's this wasp nest, you know, it's not where you can reach it. It's in a little crevice, and they found a way to get inside in the brick, you know. Anyway, you can't get to them, or I can't get to them, and I've tried. But they've been there for years. And so this wasp nest is just always there, always this corner threat at the end of my house, right? And it's irritating. And so I've tried everything. I've talked to management, I've, you know, talked to the people who deal with the random bugs or whatever the check out houses for. And no one actually ever solves it. They might do a little this or do a little that, but there's no ever solution to it. I've even tried my own ways, and I can never get rid of them. And I've even prayed about it, and yet every year they're still there. So in the back of my mind, lately I've been thinking, maybe there's something that I'm doing. There's some door that I've opened, and it's letting the enemy into my life. You know, so I'm looking, and I'm like, I just don't see it. I mean, I don't see anything that I'm doing wrong, you know. Well, anyway, I never really got all these pieces together and came up with a real, hey God, why is this here? It's just kind of irritating me in the back of my mind, dealing with it over and over. Well, anyway, today, like I was saying, I was reading in the book of Mark, and this verse came to me. I'll read the verse before it and then the one following, which is where I got the answer. But anyway, in Mark chapter 1, verse 12, it says, and immediately the Spirit impelled him, Jesus, to go out into the wilderness. 13. And he, Jesus, was in the wilderness 40 days, being tempted by Satan, and he was with the wild beasts, and the angels were ministering to him. When I read 13 and saw that he was in the wilderness, right, we know the story, I realized you're in the wilderness. And when you're in the wilderness, that's when the enemy, the devil, will attack you, okay? And that's actually his opportune time. It actually says later that he leaves Jesus tempting him for a more opportune time. He says, I'll try again later, basically. So while you're in the wilderness, while you're going through this dry environment, you've had the word from God saying, you know, march. And you're moving that direction, and maybe a lot of people who are in the group with you, or people who typically are your friends or family or whatever, the word says that the man's enemies will be the members of his own household, you know. So what you're dealing with right there, it should be obvious that you're going to deal with the enemy there. He's going to tempt you to try to get you to go back to Egypt, that kind of logic, right? And the realization came to me when I read it that this is his time to do it. I haven't opened the door and let the enemy into my life, but God has allowed his time in there, right? So he's okay, you can attack him now. And it's an interesting detail because I've even thought about it before and thought, you know, when I get out of this, no one's going to be able to say all those things that they used to say, you know, and all the different ways that they used to ridiculously argue will be proven wrong, and they won't want to talk about it then, But in this time is their time, right? And it's their opportunity to try to get you to kneel, before them as opposed to before God. But the truth is, if you are sold out, you're doing what God told you to do. And if He tells you to walk this way, you walk that way, right? So I just wanted to share that with you as the encouragement for you. If you're being tempted by the enemy while you're in the wilderness, that should be understood to be His opportune time to do so. So don't be surprised that you're experiencing that. That's something that God just showed me, and I thought was really, really cool. I just want to share it with you. God bless, take care, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and share. One more thing. This is not biblical, but it's a good point. I think Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going.